Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody today? Are you great?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, it's an honor to be here. My name is Josh Oakes.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. And I live really close to here. This is actually the closest speech I've ever given to my home. Normally I have to travel very, very far. So I'm especially excited to be here today. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to give you a quick promise, and then I'm going to share with you some of my story and some social media safety. What I'm about to show you today is not that social media is bad. In fact, I'm not going to tell you it's bad. I want to instead show you how very good social media can be in the future, and I'm going to give you some of my tips on how you someday, when it's okay with your parents and when you're the right age, and you have that discussion with your teachers and your parents, I'm going to show you how to shine online. That's my one goal here today. Your teachers and your administrators here at Walgrove are doing a great job of helping you to get great grades, be well-rounded. And my job is to give you a few tactics today so that you can use those on the internet. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so first of all, I ran for politics in Hermosa Beach, not far from here, about 5 years ago. And this is me shaking an officer's hand. Now, as I was running for politics, I was really young, and you can see myself voting for myself on the day of the election. Hard to see right there, but that's me voting in the voting booth. Now, there's one thing I learned that I had more than anyone else at a very young age. I had a really good image of my name online, and what that means is, as people would see my sign in yards, and they would see my sign all over, whether it's on my bicycle or somewhere else, what's the one thing they would do when they went home to learn more about me? Does anyone know? Yes, in the back.
Look you up.
They look me up. Where would they go? Does anyone know? Yes, here.
Google.
In Google, exactly. They would go to Google. So they would go to Google and they would search for my name. Now, do you think it's important for me to have a really great name so that I can win over their vote in politics?
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm going to show you some of these tactics today that I used. Now, these tips and techniques, they don't just work for politics. They work for winning over colleges, high schools. They work for future employers and everything, and they'll work for the next 10 years. So what I'm about to give you are a bunch of tips and tactics. Now, I finished politics, and I wrote a book called Light, Bright, and Polite. And I traveled the country teaching very big brands how to win over customers. Now I have a new book out called Light, Bright, and Polite that's designed for parents like yours, and it teaches them how to talk with you about how good social media can be and how very important it is in your future. So if you take a look at some of these brands, these are the brands that support this technique. These are the brands that have come to my staff and said, will you show us how to do this? Now, I used to work at this brand right here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and make this interactive. I'd love to know from you, by a show of hands, how many of us have an iPhone? Okay, about 40 to 50% of the room has an iPhone. Okay. Next, how many of us have the Vine app in the last month we've ever used the Vine app? Okay, about 40 to 50% of us have used the Vine app. Okay, great. How many of us have used Instagram? Raise your hand. Okay, now, how many of us have ever used Kik or WhatsApp? Raise your hand. All right, let's do this. Only raise your hand if you've used Kik. How many of us have used Kik? Okay, only once. All right. Who's used Kik in the last week? Anybody? Okay, great. All right. Okay, hands down, please. How many of us have used WhatsApp in the last month or the last week? Anybody? Okay, no one. All right. Now, how many of us have Snapchat?
I used to.
All right, about almost half the room. 40% of us have it. Okay. Okay, hands down, please. How many of us have used Twitter in the last month? Okay. All right. And next, how many of us have ever used either Yik Yak or Whisper? You guys have used Whisper? All right, just for Whisper, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you've used Whisper. Okay. All right. Now let me ask you another question. Can I have your attention? How many of you guys can I have your attention here real quick, please? how many of us have a Wi-Fi only device? Our parent gave us just a device that doesn't have a phone number, but just Wi-Fi. Okay? Okay, most of the room. Hands down, please. How many of us have a phone that actually has a phone number? Okay, the other half of the room. Okay. It's an iPad with a number. Okay, great. Now, I want to play a really fun game with you, and we're going to show you what good tweets and bad tweets look like. I call this game Miley Cyrus versus Hannah Montana. Now, let me have your attention, please. What I'm about to show you are real... Guys, I'm going to need your attention so that we can move quickly. What I'm about to show you are tweets that both Miley and Hannah are sending. Now remember, is social media bad? Am I going to... No. But how you use social media, could that be very, very bad? Exactly. So we're going to look at both Miley and Hannah and how they would behave on Twitter. And then guess what? Eventually, how many of us someday want to go to a great college? Wow, the whole room is raising their hands. Fantastic. Now, hands down, please. Here's what I want to do. If you want to go to a great college, do you think someday a college is going to look you up on social media to make sure you're a great person? The answer is yes. Okay, here we go. Now follow me, because what I'm going to do is, while these two are on social media, I'm going to ask you, which one do you think a college is going to want to accept? And you guys are going to decide. Hold on. We're going to look at each individual tweet, okay? Here we go. So first, I'm about to show you how Miley Cyrus will upset her teacher, how she'll upset her coach, how she'll be dramatic. I'm going to show you how Miley Cyrus would upset the cheer team on Twitter. And if you have ever wanted to know how someone would get fired with just one tweet, I'm going to show you how someone did that very same thing. Okay? So here we go. Stay tuned, because I'm about to show you, Josh, how might I upset my teacher? I'm glad you asked. Let's look at Miley Cyrus. Miley would say something like this: "This class is so lame, I'd rather be home sleeping." How many of us have friends that have ever posted that or something like that? Anybody in this room? A few of us, yeah. Okay, now, is social media bad? No. But do you think this is bad?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, how can we clean it up? Let's go to Hannah Montana. Here we go. Hannah would say something like this: "I'm ready for the weekend," right? It doesn't matter if it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or anywhere else, or on Snapchat. Which one do you think a college would want? The one on the left or the one on the right? Right, exactly. Wonderful. Okay, now, Josh, how can we upset our coach? I'm so glad you asked. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you an actual tweet that Miley Cyrus might send. She would say, "The other football team sucks. I hope they lose." Now, we all know that good sportsmanlike conduct, is that what you're about to say? That's great. Very good. Good sportsmanship happens on the field. It happens in the stands. And where else does it happen? Does it happen on Twitter? Yeah, exactly. So here's what I want to show you. How would Hannah Montana say this? She would say, "We're up by 24 points. Go team." Right? Now, which one do you think a college wants to see? The one on the left or the one on the right? Okay. Yeah, exactly. So let's go ahead. How might we be dramatic? How might we be dramatic? All right. Well, here's what Miley Cyrus would say. She'd say, "Hey, Steve, I'm glad we broke up. You're a jerk and you made me cry." Miley. Now, how would let me have your attention, guys. We're gonna move quicker when we don't talk, okay? Now, what would Hannah Montana say? She would say, "I'm so lucky that I have great friends to support me." Now, which one do you think a college wants to see? Is it the one on the left or the one on the right? Very good. All right, let's move on. Josh, how would Miley Cyrus upset the cheer team? She'd probably say something like this: "Our cheer team needs help. Sally keeps falling." Oh, poor Sally. how it hurt Sally's feelings? Yeah. Now, what would Hannah Montana say? I think next year I'm trying out for the cheer team. Happy face. Now, follow me here, guys. Ready? One is a part of the problem, sad face. And one's a part of the solution, happy face. Now, which one do you think at college someday, or do you think your principal and your teachers would want to see the one on the right? Yeah. Okay, now what I want to do is tell you about a really great company, and then I want to show you how someone got in trouble. How many of you, how did someone get in trouble? I'm so glad you asked. Well, let me tell you about the company first. So this company named Cisco, how many of us have heard of this company? Do you guys know how this company interacts with this school? Cisco makes all of those devices on the walls. That device is made by, they made really neat devices. Let me show you a little bit about their company. Raise, guys, let me have your attention here, okay? Raise your hand if you have a best friend in this room.
I have a lot of them.
You have a lot of them, great. Great. All right, hands down, please. Did you know that you find your best friend because you end up bumping into lots of people, and you find one that maybe you get along with a lot better? Maybe you want to go to recess with them. Maybe you want to do your homework with them. So here's what we find that best friends have. Best friends statistically come from when you bump into people and are in close proximity. What if I told you that you could work at a company someday where you have 72,000 chances to bump into a best friend, and maybe meet best friends and find people you get along with? And you'll keep the ones you have here, but you'll make even more. Now, what if I also told you that someday if you like to travel, you could go to one of 65 different countries someday, go do the work that you want to do. And if you like having the latest iPhone, and you don't want to ask your parents for permission to get the newest one, they would pay you probably enough money in your salary, in your paycheck, to be able to afford the latest iPhone. And the best part of this company is, I know you're having fun there, the best part of the company is that their technology goes in really neat TVs, and also it goes in those wireless hotspots on the wall. Do you guys think that this is a really cool company to work for? Yeah. Well, I want to show you how somebody on social media got fired. Okay? Now remember, is social media bad? But people use it badly. So I'm going to show you exactly how someone used it badly so that maybe someday you could avoid this. Yes, question in the back.
So is this true? Did someone actually?
This actually happened. Yeah, we're going to go, well, I want to tell you a little story. So this young woman, she just graduated from college. All of us raised our hands and said, yeah, we want to go to college someday, our college of our dreams. This young woman went to a great college. She got good grades, like all of you are. But when she graduated, she interviewed at a company called Cisco. And they said, hey, we love your application, come in for an interview. So she went through the interview. It went very, very well. She got a call a week later, and they said, we would like you to join our company. Come work here. We have a great job for you. We'd like you to join our family at the company, right? Very exciting call. She said, yes, I would love to. She hung up the phone. What do you think the next thing is that she did?
Tweeted.
She tweeted. She went to Twitter. Yeah. Here's the tweet that she sent. She said, Cisco just offered me a job. Now I have to weigh the fat paycheck against the daily commute and hating the work. Do you think Cisco saw this tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Cisco listens to their name both with the @sign and without the @sign?
Yeah.
Does anyone know why they might listen to their name on Twitter? Yes, here.
Just in case, like, if someone's talking bad about them, and if they see, like, if they're saying good things about them.
Yeah, just in case somebody's saying something bad. You see, every company wants to know if someone doesn't know how to use the products so that they can help you and so that you can be satisfied very quickly, right? So you think this person, so we all agree that Cisco probably saw this tweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well what I want to show you is an actual tweet that was sent back to this young woman, not from the social media team. Social media teams have a full-time job listing. And this wasn't from the hiring manager or the HR person. It was from another employee that really likes the company and appreciates getting the opportunity to work there. Here's the tweet that this other person sent. They said, who is the hiring manager? I'm sure they would love to know that you will hate the work. We here at Cisco are versed in the web. Does anyone know what versed in the web means?
No.
Can anyone answer? Yes, do you know here in the break? Versed in the web means we understand the web and we use it every day. So if he's saying basically we use the web every day, basically this person's saying we listen on Twitter every day and we saw that you're talking about us in a negative way. And does anyone know what a hiring manager is?
Yeah.
It's the person that hires, exactly. Yeah. Now, do you think this young woman got this job?
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, she got a job. She got a call that said, hey, we saw what you did on Twitter, and we would like you to not come in. So, now you're probably thinking, Josh, she got great grades. She went to a good school. I bet she could get a job anywhere, right?
No.
Josh, you're being hard on her. Why might she not be able to get a job anywhere?
Because once you get a bad report from one of your jobs, no one else is going to want
Once you get a bad report from one of your jobs, you're out there, yes, in the purple in the back.
When it says now I have to weigh the fat paycheck, what does she mean?
Very good question. Does anyone know how to weigh the... Yeah, that's a very good question. Can I have someone other than you? You've been very helpful. I like it. No, it's good. Let's give some other people a chance. Yes, in the white.
I think it means that she's going to get like a lot of money, but she's still making some job.
Yeah, so here's what... You have a very good question in purple. I'm glad you asked. Now I have to weigh, meaning on one hand, I get a lot of money, and on the other hand, I have a long commute, which means a long drive, and she might hate the work. But does she actually know how much she would hate the work yet? Because she hasn't been there. So do you think she may have actually lost this job before she ever got the chance to see anything? Now what I want to show you, remember social media is not bad, but how we use it could be very, very bad. So watch very carefully. What I'm about to show you is if you Google this young woman's name or you Google these 3 words I've underlined, you'll notice that if this young woman wants to go work somewhere else and the other people Google her and search, watch this, ready? You'll notice that now her new resume, which is her first page of Google under her name, now it's an uphill battle because this one incident, how to get fired with one tweet, was written about by CNN, ABC, NBC, Huffington Post in Chicago. That means that all of this press is written about her in a very negative way. You think it's going to be difficult for her for the next few years to have a clean online image? Once again, do you think that companies search for you before in colleges? Right? Yeah. So now, unfortunately, it's not impossible for this person to get a job, but it's a little bit of an uphill battle. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now I want to share with you my 3 favorite words to be safe and smart on social media. If you're on Snapchat, and a lot of us raise our hands, if you're on Snapchat and you are ever about to send something, I want you to ask yourself, is this light? Is it positive? Is it fun? If it is, in your head, I want you to say, okay, it is, check. Before you press send, is this bright? Be smart, think first, are we going to get fired from a company before we ever get the chance to work there? If you're not going to get fired, then check. Is this polite? Are we proud of this? Are we proud of our principals seeing it, our teachers, our parents? If we are, then check it's light, bright, polite. Would you guys mind saying light, bright, and polite on the count of 3 with me together? 1, 2, 3. Light, bright, polite. Awesome. Great. So Josh, what is safe? Well, we all know that texts and Snapchats can get saved and forwarded. But our friend Kim Kardashian, she would show us that, here's her crying. She's crying because somebody took a screenshot of her Snapchat and she trusted them. Do you guys know that there's someone that's ever taken a screenshot of a Snapchat? No. Yeah? Do you guys know, does anybody not know how that works? I'll explain it to you here real quick. You don't know how it works? Or you do? So all of us know, let me have your attention here just for a second, guys. I'm going to share with you something, okay? This is pretty important. So here's what I want to show you. We all know that we can send stuff via Snapchat, and they claim that it goes away, right?
No,
It still stays, exactly. Do you guys mind if I show you a personal story from one of my friends?
Yeah.
And how it actually might not go away? Can I do that?
Yeah.
All right. So this is my friend Blake, and one day Blake lives really close to here. Blake sent me a Snapchat video and it said, hey, happy birthday. He sang me happy birthday. It was really, really nice. But one day, Blake, at the end of it, he said, hey, why don't we go surfing tomorrow? I'll call in sick and we'll go surfing, right? Now, I didn't see the surfing part at the end, and instead, when I downloaded the video and I texted it to him in an iPhone. Now, let me repeat that. I took the Snapchat video, which should only be played once, and I downloaded it and sent it to him so that he could play it not once, but 1,000 times if he wanted to. Now, that kind of goes against what Snapchat promises us, right? It does, yeah. So he called me with a look on his face, and was very scared, and he said, hey, what did you just do? I said, well, thank you for the happy birthday best wishes. I downloaded your video, and I sent it back to you. That was my favorite. Can I share that? And he went, what do you mean share it? I said, well, it's nice. Can I share it? You saying me happy birthday. It's my favorite one today. Thank you. He said, no, didn't you watch the end of it? And I said, no. He said, I said, I'll ditch work and we'll go surfing. Which means I'll lie to my employer, right? And I went, oh, I didn't know that. And the reason why I'm telling you this is sometimes we send Snapchats to people, our best friends, and they might download it or take a screenshot. We all know that on our iPhone we can take a screenshot, right? How many of us know that? Raise your hand. Yeah, you can take a screenshot. But do you think that our friends might take a screenshot and accidentally get us in trouble? They wouldn't intend to get us in trouble, right? No. Yeah. So they're our friends, right? Do you think we send more images and texts and stuff to our friends or mean people? Which one? Is it friends? Friends, yeah. So we have more of a chance of accidentally getting our friends in trouble than anybody else. And here's what my friend called me and said. He said, Josh, you know what's really scary is that, he said, Snapchat made their logo a ghost. They promise us that that everything disappears. And I said, yeah, well, I guess it doesn't because I downloaded it and sent it to you. He goes, you know what's really scary is in Snapchat, Josh, normally you can see when someone views your video, your picture, or if they've taken a screenshot, right? But unfortunately, he said, Josh, it doesn't show that you viewed the video, the picture, but especially not that you downloaded it and sent the video to me so that I can share it or someone else. So, just understand that everything that you do on Snapchat can be downloaded and sent to someone else. So, does that mean we need to be light, bright, and polite on our Snapchats? Yeah. Exactly. Great. Okay, we have a question over here on the right. Yes? You have a comment. Can we save the comment for the end? Okay, great. Yes, any questions? Great. Your name is Blake. Great. Question?
Did he end up getting in trouble?
He did not end up getting in trouble because I didn't share it. Because we talked about it. So I never shared it on Facebook.
Why? Wait, why? You were downloading it so that, oh yeah, so you could share it.
I downloaded it so that I had the opportunity, but I asked my friend if I could share it. I sent it to him, and that keeps us from getting our friends in trouble. Yeah. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Josh, I take a lot of selfies. Josh, is it bad to take selfies? No. I want to show you a good way to take a selfie. Can I show you that? Yeah. Okay, great. Now, I use this technique in politics, but how many of us have friends and they want to take a photo sometimes at an event or somewhere, right? Great. Can I borrow somebody to come down here? Will you come down here real quick? All right, what is your name? Ella, I'm Josh. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to use Ella as an example. Now, let's say all of you are my friends, okay? And let's say that you say, hey, let's take a group photo, Josh. Okay, great. What I would do then is, and most of us in the room have one of these, maybe not with us right now, but what I do is instead of letting someone take a photo of me, during politics, I would open the camera up to the camera app, and I would find somebody really nice that I trusted, like Ella, and I would say, Ella, would you please take a picture of my friends and I using my phone? You can take 4 or 5 or 6 to make sure that we get a good one. Will you do that for us? Okay, so I give it to Ella, and then Ella is going to take a photo, and I put my arms around my friends, and I smile, and I take a classy. Okay, have a seat, guys. That's good. All right. Thank you, Ella. Let's give a round of applause for Ella. Now, at the end of the night, who's the one with the photos? Is it all of my random friends, or is it me? It's me, because what did I do? I volunteered my phone to control my online image. Now, at the end of the night, I'm the one with the photos, and I get to pick, on Instagram, I get to pick which one should I take. Should I take the one where we look, should I pick the one where we look wild?
Yeah.
No. Should I pick the one where we look silly? No. Should I pick the one where we look dorky?
No.
Should I pick the one where not only I look great in the middle, but all my friends look great? That's me in my new dress. Now, here's what happens. Here's a little trick. If you do, what do you think a college wants to see someday? Do they want to see all these photos, quantity of lots of photos? Or do they want to see quality of really great photo? They want to see quality of one great photo. Now, how many of us are on Instagram again? Now, do you guys know that when you post on Instagram, if you post more than once a day, it's bad, right? You're never supposed to post more than once a day. It's too much. But guess what? This technique works really well on Instagram. If you take a lot of photos and then you upload only one, do you think it's good for your image, or do you think you should post 10 or 15 on Instagram in a day? Just one, right? Yeah, exactly. And it helps your online image. And that's because every one of your posts is like a button on an elevator. Which direction does a button go? Up, and then what other direction? Down, exactly. There's two buttons on an elevator. Ask yourself, as you take a photo, which button is it? All right. Now, Principal, how are we doing on time? Do we have 10 more minutes? 5 minutes? Can I show you guys really quickly a little technique on the image, and then I'm gonna leave you. Is that okay? How many of us have searched for ourselves online in the past? How many of us have searched for their parents? Okay, great. So let's do this. Okay, hands down, please. Thank you. All right. What I want to do is I want to show you 2 ways to search online really fast so that you know how to manage your image in the future. Is that fair? I'm going to move very quickly because we're limited on time, so hang out with me for right now. No talking. Is that fair? We only have 5 minutes. I'm going to show you stuff I normally only show high schoolers. Hands down, please. Okay, here we go. So normally I would Google myself by going to Google, but notice really quickly, notice how I'm logged into Chrome or YouTube up here on the right. You see that? Now that's wrong, because if I search for myself, all this stuff comes up, but you see those little personalized results?
Yeah.
That means that Google is saying, hey, you searched for this topic, Josh Oates, in the past, and you're searching for it again. We think that these are the personalized results you should be looking at, but it's different than the rest of the internet. Which means it's Google's job in the world to take the world's information, to make it easy for other people to find, and then to make it even more personalized. Now, colleges don't see these internet results when they search for me. Colleges, in fact, guys, look at this. Colleges see, well, they don't see this one over here. They see this side. Uh-oh, they see images. What do you think a college is going to click on first someday?
Images.
Images, yeah. Can I show you how to see this side?
Yeah.
Okay, now instead of logging out and trying to get away from Google to search for the internet in a way where they can't track you, I have a little trick. You want to see it?
Yeah.
If you go into Chrome in the upper right, or Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, there's 2 words I want you to remember. The first one is incognito. Say it with me. Incognito. The second one is called private. Say it with me. Private. So if you go to your browser and you search for incognito or private, what it does is it opens up a new browser window. And you see the little guy up there with the spy guy?
Yeah.
He's saying, hey Josh, now in this one window, if you go to Google, you're now logged out, and now you can search for yourself, and oh, there's the images. This is the way colleges see us. They see a different version of our online image. Now, let's go click on my images and let's go look at them.
Whoa.
Now, these are my images, me volunteering, but why is there a baby dressed as Harry Potter on my Google images? No, it's not me. That's not me. It's hard to see. Now, it's because a long time ago, even though my Google images are great, a long time ago, I went to Pinterest. Have you guys heard of Pinterest? Raise your hand. Some people love Pinterest, they're great. I went to Pinterest and I pinned something. I made a folder, which is a board on the network, and I made a folder called Adorable Things Worth Sharing, and I put puppies and babies in there. On Pinterest, it made sense to have little babies and puppies in there. Does it make sense when someone searches for me and they match my resume or my college application and they see that? Does that make sense on my Google results? No, yeah. So everything we do on the internet affects our Google results, and colleges are going to go to your first page of Google and also your images, so you have to be careful with what you do. Do you feel comfortable someday taking your Instagram or your Twitter and printing it out so that when you go into an interview at a private high school or a college or a future employer, do you feel comfortable saying, hey, you've seen my application, but here's me on Instagram. On the weekends I volunteer, I babysit, I travel, and all this stuff. If you feel comfortable doing that, then you're moving in the right direction. If you don't, we have a couple years to make sure we work on your online image. I want to share with you 2 slides, and then we're going to go to the end. Is that fair? We've got a couple minutes? We have 1 minute. Great. Okay, so if you've ever wanted to work at the world's largest agency, consider being like my friend Camille. Look what she posts on Instagram. She says, thanks to my friends for inviting me to join them in these great seats. Go Dodgers. Next. If you've ever wanted to be on TV, this guy's on KTLA. His name is Rich. He's a really nice guy, but he's on TV every day. And here's what he says. Instead of bragging and taking a selfie, he says, thank you to Shelter Hope Pet Shop for letting us share some of our tech tips with you. Keep up the great work helping these kids find loving homes. Notice how they all say, thank you to these people, right? Thank you to these people. This person says, this is, if you've ever wanted to work at Disneyland, look at my friend Lisa. Lisa says, special thanks to my team at Disneyland Parks for all that they do for helping people dreams come true at the most magical place on earth. Notice how it starts with thank you, right? Next, if you've ever wanted to be in the Miss America pageant, consider learning from Miss Utah, as she says, thank you to my friends who supported me over the last year in the Miss America pageant. Notice how they start off with special thanks or thank you. Do you see that? Great. Okay, here we're going to go to the end. And we've got some good examples, but we're going to run through. My formula is someday you should volunteer somewhere. It doesn't matter what you do. Habitat. You can Habitat for Humanity, animal shelter. You can even walk a neighbor's dog. And then take a classy photo. Consider, but hey guys, this is our last slide. Can I have your attention? Take a classy photo and then say thank you to the organization or to my friends for allowing me to have this activity and this outcome. Any questions? No. Thanks guys for coming out. I appreciate it. Have a great